The obvious question for everyone here is, we want to know, from your unique perch as both an economist and someone who has been intimately involved in the sausage making that is politics, how do you see the fiscal cliff situation playing out? Go through each of the different parts of the tree that could happen and comment on each one and how you think it will play out in the next month or longer.
Start with what I'm very sure about. If we go over the fiscal cliff, medium to long term, meaning we don't fix this before January 1st and we don't fix this soon after January 1st, the consequences will be disastrous. The chance of a recession is a near certainty. The chance that it's a severe recession is substantial. The chance that there's real damage done to our national security because of the defense cuts is high. The chance that the lives of 20 million people are going to be hugely complicated by having to pay the alternative minimum tax, which they're not accustomed to having to pay, is very large. And the chance that the rest of the world will maintain confidence in us as a seriously governed country will be substantially diminished. So screwing this up for the sake of theater would have really catastrophic consequences. Second, this is not quantum mechanics. What both sides kind of need and where both sides can't give is sort of, you can sort of see what the outlines of it are. The president's position always was balanced revenues and spending. That's now become an accepted premise of this negotiation. The president's position has also been, you gotta raise the top rate if you're gonna generate enough revenue, and you can broaden the base as well. Balance, use both approaches. My best, I think it's very clear from what the president has said. I think it's very clear from the presidential campaign that he ran. I think it's very clear from the fiscal arithmetic of how much revenue you can realistically get from base broadening, that there is no deal without the top rate going up. I think that it has been signaled at a variety of times and places that in the context of the top rate going up, there is a willingness on the administration's part to look very hard at what the right ways are to curb costs under our entitlement program. And no one, not in the administration, is, and certainly not in the Republican Party, is contemplating a deal where if you look at the whole process we've been through in 2011 and now in 2012, spending cuts do not significantly exceed revenue increases. So it's a deal that in which spending cuts are greater than revenue increases. I think that deal is there to be made. Now, as is always true with a deal, the people who are further from the center like it less. There are Democrats who really don't want to see entitlement cuts. There are Republicans who desperately want to see no rate increase. And why should you make a deal 3 weeks before you have to if the deal has some noxious elements? And no negotiator who is good ever conveys how desperately they want and need a deal. So it's kind of to be assumed that there would be a certain amount of theater in this process. But I think the president's been very clear on what he needs in terms of a rate increase, and I think that he's been prepared to compromise on the precise form of the revenues. It's not just repeal the Bush high-income tax cuts, it's raise rates and raise adequate revenue. He's been very clear on his willingness to look substantially at spending. And my best guess would be that, and I think the people have spoken pretty clearly in public opinion polls, in the election result, in the exit polls after the election, in favor of revenue increases at the high end. So my expectation would be that this process will play out over some substantial interval, but I don't think anybody in Congress wants to go home without this deal having been struck.